Hello and welcome along and welcome back to Ohio and American Life Farming. Today we're going to start off with refilling our feed mixer. We need to get 15,000 litres of silage into it. We also need to get about another 14,000 to 15,000 litres of hay into it as well. I've already been filling that up, so we're going to fill our trailer here with it, with silage first. This is proving to be a really useful piece of kit, this. And at the same time, we're going to be grabbing some buckets of hay here and getting those in as well. It's quite a few trips. It's about 11-12 trips to get a full set of hay, or a full set of hay in. Now, something I need to make sure of is that this is actually loading. So let's come to here, into here, and B. There we go. That is grabbing more silage. And yeah, so we're going to be filling this up. Once we've got this job done, and I'm going to skip over a lot of this job, to be honest, what we want to do is go and sort out the weeds. We've got weeds on our grass fields, we've got weeds on our arable fields. We basically have weeds everywhere today, so those need sorting, those need getting rid of, and once we got rid of those, we'll be all good. And having this all sorted and producing more feed means that when our cows get low again, because they're about half full at the moment, I think. Yeah, they're getting lower. We need to go and sort them out as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're basically going to fill that fed trailer up. We're going to tip everything we can into our feed mixer here, and then we're going to tip the rest of it in with the cows, so that they have a good base extra setup of feed, and that should mean that we're all good for today. I'm also going to put some extra straw into this before I end, so that we can get a proper mix of feed in here and aren't having to worry about the whole thing too much. This will be our final bucket of hay. It's emptied out about, wow, over half of this storage. Not too bad. And yep, our Ventigo is also full, so we can go and empty all of that in. What I want to do is dump this hay in here like so. There we go. And this shouldn't be a full one. Perfect. So this can go then straight in, the rest of this, to feed our cows. Like that. And then we can immediately clear this up, tip this in as well, which again will help to feed our cows. And it's yeah, it's more than a full bucket's worth we get in here cleaning this up every time. It's, yeah, a huge amount that they produce. But then we have a very large amount of cows in here, you know, and because they're beef cows, they eat a lot. They eat more than the dairy cows do, definitely. We've got a comparable amount of dairy cows on Bessie Beneath, and they do not take as much feed as these cows do here. Right, so with that done, what we're going to do is park this over here for a moment. Pop into this, which has 42,000 litres of silage, so way more than we need to go into our mixer. And my ideal is to get the mixer absolutely full, ready to feed, and then have stuff sitting in it ready to go as well. So let's tip this. And while that is tipping, what we can go and do is just switch this over to our bale spikes in the end shed and do that. I still want to. I think I still very much want to put another shed on here, and we do have some extra sheds. Lancey Boy released a shed pack from this map, and I want to get that on here, and then we can probably put a nice big shed that can take all of our equipment and everything. At the back of here, get rid of the 2 silage clamps we have that we're not looking to use, and yeah, go and sort that and use that space a bit better. Looks like that tractor has finished, so we'll move that out the way now. Yeah, 25,000 litres left. And we can just spin this round and unload the silage into here. Could possibly have put a load of fresh grass in here as well. That would have worked. So that open up into there. Make sure our cows are fed at all times. And then over here, we're going to want really 2 stacks of 4 bales if we can do that. Otherwise, yeah, just a couple of stacks of 3 should do it. In fact, 1 stack of 2 stacks of 4 bales. Perfect. We have those sitting ready for us at the front here. Can we very carefully lift these and get them round? 16,000 litres of straw here. Hoping this is gonna transport okay. And yeah, we made it okay. Oh, there's a little bit of a bump now. I might have to smooth the ground out. But this should take us up to a nice steady amount. And we'll just dump them in. And we go 14,000, 18,000. So 3 more bales will do this. We'll do this very nicely. So we'll grab them off the top of this stack. It will leave us with a single bale at the bottom, but that's okay. We can grab 3 bales off the top of the next stack and bring that across. So there, we want those 3 bales and up. Perfect. Yeah, because 3 bales would be 12, so 24. Ideally, we want 7 bales would take us to 28,000, and then every so often you put in an 8th, and or every other time actually you put in an 8th, and that sorts things. It's just keeping everything topped up as much as possible. There we go, 26,300. So this will leave 300 in this bale when I drop it off, and it will go on there nicely. So that is everything topped up. We should be creating as much as we need, and that will keep our cows happy for a good while. Just need to get this put away, and then we'll go and hook up to the sprayer. So we're gonna use our T7 for this. Let's unfold our tractor, because those should be out before we come in here and hook this up. Now I think we already have a full tank of herbicide in here. We do. We got 6,000 litres, which should do us fine. Fields that we need to do is pretty much everything. Let's have a look here. So if we go into weeds, yeah, we have weeds everywhere. I'm going to start on my big fields, because they all need doing, and then we'll get to the grass fields after that. But yeah, it's a huge amount that needs spraying. Thankfully, this Hardy Delta Force sprayer, this should be pretty big and do this job fairly well. There we go. Squeeze through there, and yeah, look at all the weeds we have in these fields. Now I'm going to start off going along the roadside here, and we're not going to differentiate between field 38 and field 13. They've got a very thin gap between them. We're going to just keep going straight across both fields. Look at the width on this sprayer. Headlands are going to be fun. We might go and do the headlands first across these 2 fields, in actual fact. Right, there we go. And over. In. And away we go. Like so. So this should get everything down this side of the field. Once I've lined up properly, because we're missing the very edge at the moment, we can set the GPS on this. I'm happy with that. So, GPS is on. Let's set our first point. Set our second point. Set our width. And away we go. And yeah, that means we should be able to get everything set up and get everything sprayed on here. I think we're missing a bit at the edge, but that's not the end of the world. That'll be fine. We've got no weeds down there, so yeah, that'll be okay. Actually, I decided that wasn't okay. I've realigned myself, and while I didn't go back and sort the very bit at the end that I missed, I have gone back and realigned myself. Right, so we are facing the wrong way. We need to bring this around. Tooling up the end a little bit strangely, but there we go. And a little bit of extra coverage, but we're okay. Took 10% to do the length of that field, so as long as we can get 10 runs out of this, we're going to be doing okay. Should get us the whole way across. Just need to be a little bit careful about that turn at the top end of the field. Otherwise, I'm very happy. This is using it at a good rate, and if we could get the turn done at the end of the field with the way this works and the way the sprayer turns, I think we're going to be all right. One thing I think I'd like to see in Farming Simulator 22 is intelligent spray nozzles. That basically, if you're not spraying on the field, turn off. So where we have this bit here where we're coming to the edge, it'd be really nice if those end spray nozzles turned off because they weren't spraying the field. That would be, you know, absolutely brilliant. I think it'd be a little bit more complicated mod-wise or programming-wise, because you'd have to have each of these as an individual animation that reacts to the field. But I'd still like to see it. I think it would be very good. So a variable spray rate usage mod kind of stuff would be brilliant. Now I was going to say earlier, it doesn't matter if we loop around at the edges of the field too much, because we're not getting any weeds in the very corner bits where we turn, but we've got weeds in the very corner bit where we turn up here. So I'm just going to bring this around and get this section of weeds here. We'll turn this off, and then we can line ourselves up. And field 38 isn't quite finished, but yeah, we're on to field 13 now. And as I said, we're doing both of these fields at once, treating them almost like one. And yeah, it's just this thin strip at a slightly odd angle that separates the two. But it does mean that, yeah, we can spray the herbicide across both like this. And as I said, it would be nice if we could turn off the nozzles, reduce the spray rate, and save ourselves some money going between these two fields. I wonder how many people actually removed this strip of land between these two fields. Let us know down in the comments if you've played American Life Farming and you've removed this bit of land, this bit of grass between fields 13 and 38. I'm intrigued to who went on and made these two fields one massive great field. I'm actually very tempted, or I would be very tempted, to go back and even these up a little bit, make everything a little bit straighter, and make these two fields a little bit more even, I think. But it's, yeah, it intrigues me, these fields, because field 13 is just absolutely massive, and you could possibly divide it into another field's worth based on the shape of it. Certainly going up that far side of the barns over there, you could divide this in. So it is one of those things where, heck, did you divide field 13 here into more fields? You know, not just merge it with 38. Did you go the other way? did you make it into more fields? I'm intrigued to know how you guys have farmed this. So yeah, let us know down in the comments below, because I think it'd be interesting to find out. We're well over halfway through these 2 fields now, and we've got about just under 40% left. We're at 37% at the moment. Our forage mixture has reached capacity, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. And hopefully the rest of this herbicide is going to make it to the end of this field. Now, this is where the field starts getting a little bit more tricky. We are coming up, so we're going to be coming back up this way, and then it straightens up at the far end. So I'm going to come back up this way and come up here, and then I think I'm going to go and realign at the far side of the field, so that with this angled section down here, it's easier for us to work. Otherwise, we end up down here and we end up having to do a really sharp about turn in order to get back up the field. It's going to mean that our GPS is slightly misaligned to what we have, but there's not really any way around that. But you can see what the issue is here, is that if I turned now, I'd be leaving a massive area. Very different to the small areas that I have been leaving in the turns. So we have to head down the field here, do this bit, and then come back and realign ourselves for the next run. So it makes much, much more sense to go and align ourselves along the top end. So we'll stop that there. Turn this around. Like so. Avoid hitting any trees. And then we're going to head up here and align ourselves back up with a new GPS course at the top end of the field here. It means we'll have a little bit of an overlap because of how far off the angle we are, but it makes just that much more sense to do it this way. So we'll start this here, and then I'm going to pull up to here and realign myself along this edge here. In fact, we're not going to do it immediately because it still pulls in a little bit coming off the corner here, and then it gets nice and straight as we come up to the top end here. And yeah, it just makes more sense for us to do it this way. So coming up here, and you can see the point at which it gets nice and straight, and there. So pull that in there, get ourselves to 354 by looks of things. No, 58, 359, 360. Yeah, so I need to pull it in a little bit more, and then there, and line it up. Other way a little bit. There we go. 0. And set our course at that point. So just about spot on, not quite. And there. And then we go. So that will then allow us to do the top end of this field fairly easily. Will allow us to clear up the rest, and hopefully 27% full of herbicide is gonna be enough to finish this field. And in actual fact, that's worked out quite well. We've got an area here we're filling in. Yes, we've got a little bit of overlap as I expected, but we were going to have some overlap anyway at the far side of the field, and this makes things a little bit less fiddly overall. We're down to 14%. I don't think we have enough herbicide to get the soybeans done as well, unfortunately. I think we're going to be left with less than 10%. And as small as our soybean field is, I don't think it's small enough to be covered by that. So I'm going to actually go and put this onto field 11, which is a much smaller field. Then I think what we'll do is we'll go and fill up with another 4,000 litres of herbicide. And that should do the last 2 fields, or the last 3 fields we've got. So the 2 grass fields and the soybean field, and that will that will mean everything is covered by these by the herbicide, and we will have no more weeds on the farm until at least we do our next cut. Coming up to the end of the field, and as I predicted, we've got less than 10% left. We're actually down to 8%. So that might be enough to do field 11. I'm very much hoping it is. So we'll turn that off. We'll fold that in as it comes in. Yep. There we go. Folding in rather nicely. Really nice width on this. Absolutely perfect for the size of our biggest fields. I don't know how well this is going to do on field 11, which is a much, much smaller field. I'm actually kind of expecting it to do the entire width of the field on its own pretty much. But it's just at the end of our driveway here. If it does do the full width of the field, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get it around the house, but we'll see how it goes. So let's bring this out here, fold this out, and it's not quite going to do the whole width of the field. That's fine. So what I'll do is carefully, because this thing again is one of those fun ones to reverse. It does kind of lock in place, but only once you get it right round. There we go. And round to there. So yeah, not quite going to reach around the whole field, but should reach around most of it. Certainly, yeah, we're going to have a small area here. Oh, wow. No, it's not. We cannot spray. Look at that. Those weeds are untouched. This grass has already grown too much. So we're not going to worry about that. We're going to pop down the shop and we're going to go and grab ourselves another 2,000 litres of herbicide and just get the soybeans done. So we can park this over here, ready to pick this up. And we'll just run over to the shop quickly. Yes, I can just go and press the shop button and purchase it, but I like to go into the shop to do it. Feels there's that little bit more immersive to me. Right, pallets, herbicide tank. We don't have enough money. We are going to have to borrow money to buy herbicide. So, into our menu here. Borrow 5,000. Still not enough. Borrow another. Still not enough. We are up to 1.35 million. That's not great. But we can at least buy some herbicide. Yes, okay. We have got set up for the farm this year, though, at the very least. You know, that's not a huge problem to be that far in the debt. It's a real comparison to Six Ashes, where we had no debt at all the whole way through. Refilled, and we'll reverse it out. Look at the way that this works. It turns with it, and heading back to our farm and back to our soybean field so that we can get that sprayed with some herbicide. And we're going to use the entrance to the field that we use on a lot less regular basis, just off the dual carriageway here. Oh, and it's not soybeans. This is the sunflowers. This was soybeans last year. And this tractor is not. These are supposed to be care wheels, and they are destroying our crop. I don't think we can do this. I think we're going to have to go back and try and sort this out another way, because I can't lose as many sunflowers as this is going to destroy. So I think you're going to have to rethink this plan. And in the meantime, I think I'm going to leave this here. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.